Welcome back to another episode of Forbidden Depths. I'm your host, Queen Frostbitten, and we're here today to get down, dirty, and sultry by staying open, educated, consensual, and safe. If you're returning, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for supporting the channel and its growth. If, of course, you're new here, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe, because one taste will never be enough.
By the way, my chair is so squeaky. Please let me
Oh.
know if it's too squeaky. Like, I can
Awesome.
get another chair.
Mine's worse than yours.
I can't hear it at all.
Oh, well, and I bought another chair to replace it. And I'm going to tell you, someone complained about my chair once. I was streaming on Chatterbait and someone's like, your chair's fucked up. You need to get a new one. And they tipped me like $50 because I have this part taped and it's like, here, get a chair. And I'm like, motherfucker, you can't buy a chair with $50 for one. And two, I have another chair, but this one is my favorite.
Well, that was sweet that they were like, hey, I want to, because some people just like criticize what we do and what we have, but like don't want to help us like get new things to help our image.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I totally understand that. But
and he was like, he was kind of okay about it, but like he didn't ask, why do you have that chair? You know, like I bought another chair and it just didn't fit. It wasn't a good fit for me. And I haven't been able to find another one like this. And they discontinued this model and brand and they don't make them anymore. So I'm like,
you're just holding on for dear life.
Yeah, I can't get rid of it until I have to. I'm not. So
I love that. Mine's just all about the aesthetics.
Oh, it's cute. Oh my, it looks like a little shell.
It's like a little seashell kind of thing. Yeah. I got it on OfferUp. Yeah. But
it is cute.
Yeah, I've got to stay with the cute aesthetic, you know, cactus on a cutie.
That you are. Oh, thanks again for coming to another episode of Forbidden Depths. Let me go ahead and get that out of the way because I've been so excited to talk that I just completely forgot. We're speaking with Kactus today. And let me tell you, I've been following Kactus on Twitter for a while now. Super, super amazing. You can go ahead and go follow over at K. It's with a K, okay? Kactus Kutiepees. And let me tell you, amazing, amazing, especially if you're kind of more of the abnormal kinks kind of stuff. Let me tell you, you're going to want to be over there.
Well, hi. I'm happy to be here. That's just one of my Twitter accounts. I have so many. I am also, you can find me just on Kactus Kutie everywhere. But my P account is definitely my more sought out account. People like that kind of content from me, so I'm happy to give it to them.
Yeah, and I mean, that's where I found you. So it was a suggestion because I do like the harder and more, I guess, abnormal kinks. So it was one of my suggestions one day, and I was like, I want to go see what this is about. So Twitter actually suggested you to me.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it when Twitter actually does the thing that we use it for.
Yeah.
Thanks, Twitter. But honestly, I found so many like amazing performers through social media. I mean, that's how I found pretty much everybody that I work with. Like, I'm part of the hairy community. I'm part of a P community, like the different kinks that I kind of cater to. It's definitely nice to find other people who appreciate that kind of stuff.
Yes, because the passion helps growth. And let me tell you, whenever you do something that you're passionate about and it continues to show through your work, it makes people want to be more involved, you know? Like, I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely I've been doing it for I've been peeing on the internet for quite a while now. But I still continuously have fun. And I just appreciate all the people who I mean, I wouldn't be doing it if it weren't something that people really enjoyed of me. And we'll probably talk a little bit more about why I do that and the good stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I want to hear all about it. Also, Kactus has been on many different podcasts before. So if you have like some kind of questions that you want answered, I'm sure those podcasts are going to answer some kind of questions for you. I remember this one podcast, they were kind of talking about your interests and, you know, kind of who you are fundamentally. And that was awesome. And then other ones where you kind of talked about your hair and kind of where that came from. And that was super awesome. But you kind of have to go to each podcast and listen in to see what it draws to the table, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
definitely
loved
have a
it.
lot of niches, and so I like to
Hmm.
talk about a lot of different things, but it's hard to fit them all in one little hour
Yes.
segment. So, and also I just love talking to people. I'm such an extrovert. So like doing this for me, I'm like, oh yeah, I get to like talk to somebody face to face, because this job is like pretty isolating. Like I live by myself, you know, I'm
Mm,
just pretty much talking on the internet
mm,
all day. So like when I
right.
get a little bit of like interaction, I get very excited.
Me too, especially whenever it's someone that kind of shares some kind of passion that you're interested in because you have so much to talk about them. Like
I
I get in
know,
this
and
mood
I'm excited to.
where I'm like, I want to tell you all this stuff and I want you to tell me all this stuff.
I know. I from even before we started the podcast, we were just like
Yeah.
bouncing back and forth off of each other already. It's like I just met you, but
Yeah.
this is gonna be fun.
And I think that ties into ADHD too. We're just like, ooh, new conversation. Let's go.
Shiny.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were kind of talking about how you dabble in a little bit of different kinds of kinks and stuff. What inspired you to get into the kink world?
Um, so it's pretty funny because in my real life, I'm pretty vanilla,
Mhm,
but I've always had an interest in sex in general. Like I've
mhm.
always been like, what's new? What haven't I tried? Like
Right.
I'll try it once kind of person.
Yeah.
But so how I got into the kink world was just being myself. Like I am a hairy person, so I just started showing my armpits and I didn't realize how big of a community that was, but then I started
Oh
becoming
yeah.
a part of it, and oh yeah, like oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So oh yeah. And then same with pee. Like I just tried a video once and it turned out that I just had a lot of fun and somebody asked for a custom video, and then the ball just kept rolling and I just kept peeing everywhere, and
Mhm.
that's just what I do now.
Yeah. And that's the majority of your work. Like that makes up the bulk of your work, right?
Yeah, nobody wants to see me masturbate anymore. They want to see me pee, or be sweaty or be
Mm-hmm.
dirty. And it's so funny because I was raised to be very prim and proper kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really breaking those like I don't know, fundamental things that I was taught about perfection.
Oh
And now
yeah.
it's like people appreciate what isn't perfect. So
Yeah.
it's actually helping me with my own perfectionism. But also I'm getting to try new things. Like I've
Mm.
done random videos too. Like some people, I used to have a garden and somebody really wanted me to like step around in it and lick my
Oh
dirty
yeah.
feet and like spit on it and blah, 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 blah. So like, there's definitely some things where I'm like, it's not my favorite, but I'll do it because it's fun. And if people
Right.
like it, I'll do it. I'm like, by this time, you've seen me pee and you've seen me do weird things on the internet. I don't think anything is surprising anymore.
Yeah. Well, like I feel like once you find something that you really, really enjoy and you run with it, you can always grow that into a bigger fan base. Just like with yours, you have a couple things that you focus on, but I mean, you can go back to other things like if somebody wants you to do foot content or somebody wants you to do, like some kind of worship or something, that's all cool, but you focus on those things, which is really, really important whenever you're coming into either the kink world or even if you're coming into like the vanilla porn star world. It's good to find a couple things and focus on those so that you
Mhm.
can make sure that you're targeting the audience and you're just not targeting everyone. Because if you're targeting everyone, then it's like you don't have that consistency with income. You know what I mean?
Totally. And it's also like, you know, you follow your favorite TikToker because they do the same content. You follow
Mm-hmm.
your favorite porn star because they do the same content. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just giving the people what they want to see.
Yeah.
I'm definitely like, I'd love to try some more things, and that's what custom videos are for, though.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'll do my own stuff and whatever, but like, if you want to see something different, like, message me and like, we'll make a deal. But
Right.
most of the stuff is usually like thinking about like, okay, what would they want to see? Or honestly, like, my content is just, it's, some of it is like preparation, but honestly I love it because it's not a lot of preparation. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, I'm out and I have to pee, so I like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tape myself. So I have a Snapchat, and that's where a lot of my content comes from, and then I'll make
Right.
like compilations of every month or whatever. But on there, like, people love to hear about my desperation. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll be in like a Target parking lot or something like that and being like, oh my god, I've been running errands for so long. And see, I get into like this porn voice. Oh my god. Oh my god. I've been, I'm so, I really need to pee right now. And then I go in and pee, stuff like that. So I have a lot of things that like I think people like about it and that I can include it into my content.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it spicy and fun, but it's also
Yeah.
based off of like my own experiences. Like, I
Right.
legitimately had to pee at that Target
Right.
parking lot or
Real life
wherever.
events, and that realness helps.
And I am a hydrated hottie. Actually, this is a terrible looking. I've used this water bottle a lot. But I uh I have a feature account called Hydrated Hotties because I want to encourage people to drink more water. Not just because it makes you
Yeah.
pee more, but it's good for your health. But it's because I'm so hydrated, I pee all the time. I also have some medical disorders that created some of the issues that I have that actually makes it good for pee porn. So I have vaginismus.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of like penetrative, anything, whatever, going inside is not um the greatest feeling. It's pretty painful. But I've been able to like work through it, and I've that's another story.
Right.
But because of that, like, my vaginismus, it also makes my stream. I have like 2 to 3 different streams at a time, or I'll be able to like hold my pee for a long time because I have a strong pelvic floor. But
Right. Right.
like, I'm really known for peeing for really long periods of time, so I can hold it, change positions, do another pee. So like, I have like
That's
8 to
that's
10
talent.
to 12 minute pee videos. It's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of fun. That those are the ones that do more prep work, obviously. But if I could choose to do anything, I'd just do outdoor pee porn. I just love peeing outdoors. I
Mm-hmm.
genuinely enjoy that. I love just being outdoors.
Nice, nice. And
Yeah.
that kind of that I got the vibes looking at your Twitter too. I've been following you on Twitter for a while, and you look like this earthy kind of I love the world kind of individual. And I was like, I think I could enjoy this person. Aside from just the kink stuff, I think I could genuinely enjoy this person. So the longer I've been following you, the more I've been loving it. I'm like, yeah.
Thank you so much. And that encourages me because, like, I feel like I get so into just the creation of like content. Like, I just got to pee all the time. I've got to be in this like character.
Hmm.
But I think that's also why I like doing podcasts and stuff like that, because it makes me feel like I can actually talk about like myself, and
Yeah.
get to share a different side of myself, because I am a very happy, positive person, but I don't
Hmm.
really talk about that as much as I'd like. So this year, that's my goal this year, is to be more comedic and silly, and be more safe for work.
Oh, okay.
You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Okay. So
Yeah.
that kind of leads me to my question about potential collaborations and stuff. So if you have some individual that you want to do collaborations with, like some kind of
Mm.
P customs or just a P collab altogether, like how do you go about that? How do you choose the person that you want to work with?
Okay, so kind of like, you sought me out because you really enjoyed their content. Like,
Mm-hmm.
usually I'll just follow somebody for a while, we'll kind of exchange, uh, like pleasantries, like I
Okay.
really like your content, that kind of stuff. So then like just kind of how you meet people online in general.
Hmm.
But I definitely have this sense of I want to be with other people who are one on the same websites as me, two
Hmm.
make the same kind of content as me, and three
Right.
also kind of have like a similar way that you interact with the camera,
Hmm.
because there's definitely people do it a lot different,
Oh
and
yeah.
I feel like there's definitely people who can riff on camera more, who are better at improv, who um really understand their own content and their audience, so that when you get
Yes.
to the collab, it's like, all right, so what do we want to film?
Hmm.
We think about the audience. So I did a collab like a couple months ago with a performer, and we were like, okay, so what are your people like? What are my people like? So we just started listing kind of things. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
how could we make those into a video and kind of
Right.
combine our audiences and make something that people would really want to see? So like I do a lot of wedding video, WETTING, not WEDDING. Like it's really confusing saying it out loud. But I do a lot of that with people. Like I am a person who doesn't do a lot of fluid swapping, which doesn't
Mhm.
require doing testing. So that kind of keeps my costs down and other creators' costs down.
Right.
So we just either like pee next to each other, or I have some compilations with friends, or who can pee the most kind of thing.
Mhm.
Or body hair, like body hair comparison, licking body hair, talking about our scents, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So it's you feel the vibe, you feel like you're gonna be on the same wavelength of how you're gonna be able to put this out into the world. Like
Right.
um some people like to market their things very differently. So you
Mhm.
kind of want to just make sure that those people are who you want to associate with as well. Like
Yes. Long
make
term,
sure
because
you
this
do
is an
some like,
investment.
yes, absolutely. I've had to do, like everybody's probably deleted some stuff, or just not really had very good experiences with other people, or some people turn out to be not so great in the community. So
Yeah.
I definitely think it's good to do some vetting. Ask some other people, have they worked with them? How was their experience? Maybe go through their Twitter feed, see if there's anything concerning.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't want to work with a racist, stuff
Yeah.
like that. There is
Yeah.
that porn star yesterday who posted about not wanting to work with fat people, and that was a whole debacle. Oh, did you not? Oh, I'll send it to you.
No, I
Yeah,
did not hear about that.
yeah.
Like, that's something that I don't understand. Like, we have enough scrutiny outside of the community. How are you going to bring it within it?
That's it's the hard thing, because as I think we have this obviously there's a stigma for sex workers in general and who we are as people, and it really sucks when people kind of confirm or validate that negative stigma that we have about us, because there are so many good things and good people in our community, but just like in every community, people are learning or
Hmm.
people aren't. Um,
Yeah.
and there's definitely some people hurt, but it's not like it doesn't happen everywhere,
Right.
and
Oh,
that also
yeah.
sucks to say, but we're humans.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, collaborations can be very fun. Also bring contracts.
Yes. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
If
That is
you don't
like,
have any contracts, Sophie Ladder, an amazing trans performer, has a whole website of like Google Docs and like resources for sex workers of
oh,
like
that's
forms that you
cool.
can use
I did
and
not.
site restrictions.
Let me write this down, actually. See, I have my
I can also
own.
send it to you on Twitter too. Oh, you
Okay.
do? That's amazing.
Yeah, I have my own that I use. I've been using it now for, well, I take that back. I've changed my documents now 3 times since I started working as a performer.
Hmm.
So I have an updated version, and I use it for my clients. I use it for my submissives. I have a different one that I use for each. I mean, shit, I even have an application that I use for potential mates, like if someone wants to date me. Because I mean, you can never be too careful, for one. And two, when it comes down to like your relationship, people need to know where you are, like personally, and when it comes to your environment for whatever you have to do for work. So I like to be upfront and clear about all of that stuff. Like, this is who I am. This is what I have to offer you. Do you want to take that? If you don't, then because we need to be on the same page. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be a turn off for me to tell you something, or you to tell me something, to see if we're kind of on the same page. Like, it's going to make me more excited that we are on the same page and that we're both good with that, you know?
Yes, totally. And contracts will save your ass if they try to post it on sites that you don't want them to and stuff like that. So
Yes.
definitely say that. And those 2257s are super valuable. I make my own too. I have one for my modeling and my photography. Doc Hub, love it.
Yes, I forgot you were a photographer until now. I was so excited. I was so excited. I was like, like there is so many questions I have. Obviously, I can't ask them all.
Well, I just had a photo shoot this morning, which is why I have half of this like black part up. I was shooting something pretty interesting today, but yeah, this is my studio, but I also love shooting outdoors. I've been a photographer since like 2011, but I really loved being I've done a lot of stuff, but I'm a boudoir and fashion photographer now. So usually I'll just do a lot of shoots with sex workers. So if you're a sex worker and you want to work with somebody who is queer and comfortable and trauma informed, I would love to work with you. Yes, because that is hard to find, especially in the sex work industry. I feel like the industry is flooded with cis men behind photographer or cameras, and I do think that some of them are very good and respectful, but the majority is like dudes with cameras who just want to, like, the amount of predators, especially even in my local community, unfortunately is bigger than I would like it.
I said the same thing. So and you know, that kind of led me to want to do my own production work. So like in the future, I want to be able to offer a safe space, because I am this individual. I'm non-binary. I'm welcoming to anyone and everyone. I'm super giving, even though like if people look at me online, they see like just my dominance, sometimes that's scary to them. And I understand that. But overall, like, I'm not this hardcore, like, bust your balls kind of person. Like, you got to pay me for that. You know, you got to pay me for that. So,
true. It's a privilege to be punished by me.
Yes, 100%. So other than that, like, you can ask anybody that I've worked with in the past. They're like, I've never had an environment where I just felt so warm, so welcome, and I just could be myself. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm going for. So kind of more in depth, whenever I got into the community, I was like, you know, there's a lot of people that don't have that. And I want to be able to offer that to more people, especially to women and trans people and gay people that just aren't confident to be around these cis people that are like overly judgmental or overly aggressive. Because I've seen too many
overly
times.
Sexual.
Yes. I have seen too many times where there have been cis males that literally made somebody so uncomfortable they felt like they were being raped. Like, that's not a good thing.
And within our community, unfortunately, because it is run, that's the people who have the money, that's why they get into it. But the people who are on the sites really care about what we're doing and what we're putting out there. I really do believe that. So it is so hard to find a space like that, which is why I have never done mainstream. I honestly don't feel I've had not the worst experiences, but I just haven't had comfortable experiences with men behind cameras. So I just have
Right.
told myself that I will not really do that again unless I have like totally vetted them, met them, understand them as a person, and know that their intention
Right.
is not,
To take
wink,
advantage
wink.
on some level. Yeah.
On any level, even if it's like, oh, I really get to see girls nude all the time, girls nude,
Mm-hmm.
as I'm saying in their terms.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really uncomfortable that they're there for the sexual pleasure for themselves.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. That is not why I got into photography. I just love being behind a camera. I love capturing beauty. I love capturing smiles the best.
Mm-hmm.
I love working with people. Of course, I love working with charismatic people, but I also love working with people who aren't as comfortable behind a camera. And then I get them
Right.
to laugh or something and I snap that moment.
Yeah.
And it is just the most genuine smile you can see from them. And that just warms my fucking heart. So,
Mm-hmm.
there you go. My Burt guys got one for free. Um,
Everybody take note. Everybody take note.
Yep. That I've done a couple of those videos too. I've done like once you do fetish, it's like what won't people ask you to do?
Oh my goodness.
And
Yes.
yeah, I just love doing so
Yes.
many things.
And
But
I
yeah.
don't think there's too many things I haven't been approached to do. What
Mhm.
is the craziest fetish someone approached you with?
Unfortunately, the ones that come straight to mind are things that are like so uncomfortable that I have like reported them.
No.
Like bestiality. Basically,
Oh
I've been
yeah,
asked to do that
no.
a lot for some reason.
Yeah.
But I get asked for like because I do pee content, I get asked for like it's so funny. Here's something about me that not a lot of people know. I don't like saying the word POOP. It's
Mhm.
just I am so uncomfortable around it, but I've got hot girl IBS problems. And I've made a couple videos by now because people
Mhm.
ask for it so much.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the bag. I'm not doing it because I enjoy it. I don't
Right.
really actually watch those videos.
Yeah.
But I get asked for it and it because I pee. It's
Oh
right,
yeah.
it's
They think it goes
it's
hand
right
in
next to
hand.
it. Hand
Yeah.
in hand. It's
Yeah.
different. But it's definitely not allowed on any sites. So you kind of have to do it like through direct sales and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
that's been uh not fun. Not
Yeah.
fun.
Right, right.
It's fun for my wallet.
Yeah. 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 I get
That's what
it.
it is.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. Have you gotten anything weird?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know. There's like, I
Or
guess I'm just so
weird?
in depth into the world that I like to see what other people perceive as weird because there's not much that's
Hmm.
weird to me.
That's what I
Um,
was saying. Like, what is weird
yeah,
anymore? Also,
yeah.
why is it that we call it weird? Just because it's not the
I know.
norm, you
That's
know?
like, in the 90s, if you were trying to tell someone that you like to eat ass, they would be like, "Oh my God, that's so gross." And now it like comes with part of your resume. Yes, I eat ass.
Yeah, that's on your doc hub for when people sign up to be your partner. It's like, do you eat ass?
So
I
it's
love
like,
that. Honestly, like things are a change, and like I see now on TikTok all the time people are talking about like, oh, sponge. There's like so many audios to talk about piss.
Mhm.
So I've used quite a few of those audios, which are fun, but also I'm so scared to use them because it's like me as a sex worker saying that it makes it way more sexual. And I've had
Yeah.
counts deleted and stuff like that. So I
Mhm.
have like 7 or 8 TikToks right now.
I've had
That's
4.
just the life of a sex worker. Yep.
I kind of lost interest. I was like, I'm done. I'm done creating new ones.
Hmm. I thankfully like some days I'll just get like a lot of like energy in one day and I'll just shoot a bunch of TikToks and then I
Mhm.
just post one a day on each of my
Mhm.
accounts. I'm like, thanks, past me.
Yeah. Yeah. You have more patience
Appreciate
than I do.
you.
Every time I take and film something, I want to post it right then. I'm just like, I want to do all 10 of them. Let's do all 10 of them.
That's so funny because I hoard my content and there's still stuff that I still haven't posted because I want to, here's my perfectionism is I want to make it look good. I want to have it to have the right watermark and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, I want to post it at the right time too. Like this, I did Valentine's Day content. I shot it in January when I was at XBiz LA. There was this really cool hotel that had some like red lighting. So I did this cute little V-Day shoot. So I planned it all ahead and then I like queued it for like the couple weeks up until Valentine's Day. And honestly, I thought they were so freaking cute, but it's a slow season and people aren't. And also engagement on Twitter is terrible right now.
Yeah.
There's so many things against sex workers right now that are making it a little bad news bears, but we're trying and we're working and we're still making really cute content. So
yes, 100%, 100%.
yeah.
So whenever you kind of got started into sex work, what strengths do you feel like you brought to the table that made you more successful in what you do?
No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, it has nothing to do with my looks. I like how I look, but honestly, I love acting and I thought I was going to have a career as an actress. And then I found sex work and I was so I joined in like 2016 on MFC. So I was doing camming for a little bit and I would do theme shows like June. I did like a half Christmas show. So it was Christmas music in the middle of July, June or July and stuff like that. But it was just so hard to keep up, especially with fibromyalgia. ADHD, like I just cannot stay on a schedule and my body can't stay on a schedule or sit like this, like the little cam person sit. So I've been trying to use my personality in different ways. And I think that it's honestly the way that not only that I put my content out there is very welcoming and inviting because I'm a happy person, but I also encourage other people to be happy too. Especially if people watch my videos, which the few people who buy every video or whatever get to see. But I put a lot of extra stuff in there where it's like, it feels real, but it feels inviting and it feels supportive at the same time. So I want to make people feel like their kinks aren't uncomfortable or that I'm not enjoying myself or I don't know anything. So I really try to be just genuinely happy in all of my content and in my life because I am. I just love spreading joy and stuff like that. So I feel it's all about how you make other people feel. And if you make them feel loved and happy and your smile can put a smile on their face, I think they're going to keep coming back to me because they want to feel that happiness.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love it. I love that take. And there are a lot of people that think that, oh, well, sex work's only this negative place where you just go for this like guilty pleasure kind of thing. That is not what it is. Like you can find growth mentally, physically, emotionally. There is so much. Like myself, whenever I started sex work, I had a lot of issues. I experienced trauma from the time I was 3 years old up until I was 26. I was almost 27. So I literally, that's all I knew my entire life. You know what I mean? So whenever I came into sex work, it allowed me to take my life back. It allowed me to have the growth I needed. It allowed me to be able to accept parts of me that nobody else could accept and fucking love myself. Like
100%. Seriously. I'm with you on that. That's the reason that it's not the reason I joined, but it's the reason I stayed. And the community is so supportive, especially if you find the right people, of course. Like we were talking about earlier, not everybody is there, but there's a lot of people who are so supportive and just want to be helpful to each other. Like the most aid I've seen is sex workers helping sex workers, and it's just so sweet. It was a community, but like feeling, I'm so sorry you went through all that trauma. And I think, you know, people keep saying like, oh, you have daddy issues or whatever. Like there's that connotation that everybody is abused in sex work, and not everybody, but like, so the fuck what? So is that everybody's traumatized
Right.
pretty much? And also we're using this to be, well, not all of us, but a lot of us do use sex work, kink, relationships and stuff to be able to work out our traumas and to be able to understand them and to be able to like creep out of that little vagus nerve freaking out on us. So I when I joined, I was really embarrassed about my armpit hair. I saw it because when I was doing a photo shoot of somebody, they had armpit hair, and I was like, you can do that and like own it and like be cool with yourself. I was like, holy shit, I think I'm gonna try that. So I did, but I kind of like hid it everywhere I went out. I'd always wear shirts and stuff like that. But like as soon as I started, like, and I felt really uncomfortable about my bush too. Like all partners would say, like, I really like you trimmed, or I like you shaved, or I like this and this and that. But like being able to grow a full bush sometimes just on my own is like so liberating. And then also wanting to trim it off myself is also liberating. Like it's my own body.
Right.
People love me more when I'm hairy than when I'm trimmed, which is so interesting. Like people lose followers when they trim their armpit hair or their bushes and stuff like that. It's like, you know, your favorite porn star stops doing squirt content, but we can grow it back. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not like you took a part of your body off or something.
Oh no, I don't have hair on here anymore. It can't grow back. No, this grows back every like couple weeks. So but I definitely felt so much more confident in my body. And even when I've been going through like weight struggles, not a lot of people comment on it, or if they do, it's not really negative. They say, yeah, I've noticed it, but like that doesn't bother me at all. I'm here for the content that you make, not judging you on your body or whatever.
Which is
so
fucking
it's like,
awesome. Yes.
it's amazing that there's people out there. So like honestly, it's giving me hope for the world that there's people like this. Some of my followers, like yes, I am queer. I mostly lean towards men, but I have a very specific type of people that I really get along with in partnerships. But it's having these type of fans makes me feel a lot more confident outside of my comfort zone to be like, okay, so I can trust a person who kind of looks like this, or I can trust a person who's kind of into these things, you know, like that's my past trauma with men. So it's been helping me also state my boundaries as well. Like if I don't appreciate something, I don't care if you're my fan, whatever, like bye, I don't need your money. If you're going to be keeping, you know, being an asshole, like fuck off. So
I don't need your $2.
Yeah. Great way for me to make money off of something that I already would have been sexualized or traumatized for anyways, but I'm also working through it and really enjoying some of the people that I really get to talk to. Like one of my fans is like in his 80s. He's probably going to listen to this. Hello. Just sweetheart. I love him. But he messages me good morning every single morning, and just that is the highlight of my fucking day. Like just those people who are there for not just sexualizing you, but there because they just want the company and want to talk to somebody who's just a good person. Like that's actually why I'm in it, really. I like being sexual, but I don't like being sexualized as much. So I get to pick and choose my favorites, which is kind of fun, but they also pick and choose me, which is very sweet. Yeah, there's some good ones out there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I have, well, aside from like my pets, I have two people that consistently have been there for years, just been like, hey, how's your morning? Hope you're doing good. and they'll like send me money for lunch sometimes, or one of my pets will send me money for lunch. And see, it's people don't realize that it's not always about the money when it comes to a position like that. It's about knowing that someone cares that you are a human being too, and they're not trying to take advantage of you. They're there because they're
Respect.
like, I want to support you. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's an amazing, amazing experience. And I mean, I'm going to say there are more people out there that are good when it comes to the community than those that want to take advantage of you. But you're going to have people that want to take advantage of you and everything, even like a corporate job. Listen, I've worked corporate jobs. There are people that try to take advantage of me so much, and people that got upset because of my success. They didn't want me taking their job. Like there's negative everywhere you go, but it's a matter of taking something that you love, turning it into a passion, and just, it doesn't feel like work anymore.
I absolutely get it. Yeah. There's those people who make you really want to continue doing it every day too.
Yes.
And that means the fucking world. Yeah.
Yes. Especially those people that it's like you touch them in a way that no one else can. You help brighten their day, or you helped them through some kind of trauma. Maybe they experienced something. And there's an attachment to that. Like you develop real relationships with these people. It's not just like, oh, let me take your money. Like that's not what this
Totally.
is.
Like I've had people, like, if I don't hear from them from a while, I'll message them and be like, hey, how are you? I haven't heard from you in a while. Like there's people that I was like used to talking to, and I want to check in on them and make sure that they're good and okay. Usually it's that they're just going through financial stuff and don't want to take advantage of my time and stuff, which is so respectful and sweet. So there's definitely those people that we get attached to too, So I'm just so grateful for the job. Definitely, we're here, it's a job, but I feel like not everybody can choose sex work, but I think the people who choose sex work find ways to make it as enjoyable as possible.
I completely agree. I
Yeah,
completely
and
agree.
still.
Yes. And I mean, it doesn't matter how much you love something, you want to get paid. Listen, I could show up for work every day, love being there, love putting all my time and energy into it, but that time and energy isn't going to pay my bills. Money is.
Yep, especially in this inflation.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
This is sucking. Yeah.
It's been bad. It's been really
yay.
bad. Yeah. So kind of touching on the, I know we were talking about trauma and stuff a moment ago, and I know you had mentioned that you have been through some kind of trauma. So as a child, as a teenager, or as an early adult, you experienced some kind of trauma in your life? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think why it's been hard for me to talk about it, I've talked a little bit about it on some other podcasts, but I don't remember it that well. I am one of those quote unquote daddy issues people. My dad was an alcoholic and emotionally abusive and sexually abusive, but a lot of it I don't remember because I was so young. But I have dreams, I have feelings, like it's there. The trauma is inside my body. I feel it. So with that, it's definitely impacted my relationship with men, my relationship with my own sexuality, and obviously my relationship with sex work. Like I have only worked with quote unquote male performers because most of them are cis males, were my partners. And that's because they were the only people that I really trusted to have sexual relationships with. I've only done girl content with like one or two other people in the entire 6 years that I've been in the industry. It's really hard for me to connect in a more sexual way to people, which is why IP content is really a lot more feasible for me and easy to do all the time because it doesn't have to be impacted by my trauma. So I can work through trauma without having to work through it all the time. You know what I mean? So it's definitely been a big impact on my life. He's no longer around. He's in the ground, but deuces. But it's definitely impacted how I think about a lot of things in my life, of course. But I've done a
Oh yeah.
lot of therapy, reading books, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I feel a lot more confident and uh whatever, quote unquote, healed. But I we're not always constantly healed. We're not ever
Yeah.
done with our stuff. And I
Right.
will never be done. But it's definitely still making me, especially hearing about things and like in the porn industry, like especially mainstream, a lot of male performers just don't have a really good reputation. So it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to solidify how I feel about men, but that's what I was saying. Like, there are definitely those few that like make me feel so respected and really care and show that. And then even if I have some corrections, they'll be like, "Thank you for letting me know that. I will in the future talk to you in this way or not do that
Yeah.
again," or something like that. Like, just showing little things like that just means like, okay, you're up on my list a little bit more, buddy. You might get some
Right.
free content, or like you'll be able to talk to me more, or like I'll give you
Yeah.
shout outs or whatever. So it's definitely uh sure, I've got the daddy issues thing, but I don't use that as a part of my content at all.
Right.
I don't even like using the word daddy. I'm not a sub
Mhm.
dom kind of person.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm so vanilla. But I think it's because of that, because I didn't like that powerful relationship that I felt with
Mhm.
a bigger dude. So
Right.
yeah.
Certainly. Yeah. That reminds me of so whenever I was younger, I experienced quite a bit of trauma from different people. It wasn't like one person that abused me. I ended up getting the short end of the stick in several situations. But one that was I guess kind of impactful and a reason I kind of avoid certain content is I was molested and raped by one of my cousins. So when everybody does all this um step bro, step sister kind of stuff, I'm like, I have no interest in that. And people be contacting me and they're like, can you do a custom for me like this? And I'm like, no, I can't. And they're like, it's not that hard. And I'm like, well, it's not that it's hard. It's the fact that I have stuff that you don't know about that impacts my decision. Like, I'm not comfortable doing some kind of stepbrother, stepsister shit because I had family members that were extremely close to me that were cousins that were like siblings that ended up breaking that trust. They were older than me and they ended up breaking that trust. And I ended up raped and traumatized by the whole situation. Like, no, I'm not going to pretend to be your sister or brother. And, I'm not okay with that. Like, I don't have an issue whenever it comes to the like mommy daddy role. I don't have an issue with that, but I wasn't traumatized by them. It was, by somebody that was close to me like a sibling. So, I actually was talking to another performer a while back and she loves stepbrother, stepsister stuff. And I'm like, it's not triggering for me for you to do it. I don't have an issue with that. I have an issue with people that like try to force me to do it whenever they don't accept no. And they're like, well, just this one time. No, like that no means no. It doesn't mean try harder. It means fucking no.
Well, those are the people that you don't want to sell your content to anyways. If they're just going to keep pushing you for something, they should just go find it from somebody else.
Exactly.
But yeah, I can completely empathize with that for sure. Like, there's definitely those levels of like, yeah, I don't think I'd ever want to do that because it's hit so close to home, but like there's
Yeah.
things adjacent to it. Or I have friends who do a lot of that content too, and I'm like,
Hmm.
you go for it. You
Yeah,
have
let me
your that
refer
if
you
that
to this
works for you.
person. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I love it when people, honestly, I love when fans ask me like, "Hey, do you have any referrals of other people who do key content or other people who do dom or whatever?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, please. I would love to share my friends with you because obviously I don't do that, but I'd love to share the wealth.
Yes,
Um
100%.
yeah. So, but yeah, that has definitely made me not do, I've tried to dabble in some of those things, but I just wasn't super comfortable. And
Mhm.
I've just kept it to what I'm doing now. And I don't really do like role play situations. Like people just
Mhm.
like me because I'm me. And
Yeah.
Actually kind of perfect because I think we ended at a question. So what else do you want to get to know about me?
Everything. I want okay. So let's kind of, I know that you were talking about how you really, really enjoyed your work and that you have been kind of getting into the kink world for a while now. So whenever you originally started, whenever you got into sex work, did you start like in the vanilla world or did you start out in the kink world?
I definitely I mean, MFC is pretty vanilla, I feel. And even then, like I've been doing most of it as like a personality. I feel like um I was just having fun on
Yeah.
cam, and then I tried to translate that into clips that I was making and stuff like that. So I was just trying everything when I first started out, but not too kinky. I feel like it was very like I masturbate here or I do
Yeah.
this, and some of your stuff would catch on and stuff. And I think that's why I went into peas, because that was just the thing people really latched on to the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty vanilla. I love a good make out sesh. I
Mhm.
love intimacy. I love romance. I am such a lover. But I'm also single.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
kidding.
Okay.
I mean, not really, but but I haven't been in a relationship for a while, which why it means I haven't been making boy girl content as often.
Mhm.
So like that also, like
Mhm.
being in a relationship really changes what kind of content I create
Right.
too. Because then when I have a partner, people are like, oh my God, what can we do with this? How can
Mhm.
we, but then when those relationships last, usually I don't end up keeping the content up. So I don't have any boy girl content except for the threesome I did last year with Sunflower Queen and her partner Remy Sins, which is, we did some pretty cool videos, but that's all I have. So the rest of it is pretty vanilla or just me being myself, honestly. Like
Mhm.
I just love being silly. Some of my concepts, I mean, look at my setup right now. I'm so visual. That is what I like to provide, is I like to provide visually pleasing, colorful content. And it's still amateur. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, I don't even use my camera for, I just use my phone for everything. But yeah, stuff is pretty vanilla. It's still kind of vanilla, but more of it is like, now when I do like strip teases, I'll also include like, oh, I smell bad.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like in between me still kind of, I've been creating the same kind of content, but I think I'm just now incorporating more concepts into it,
Right.
and like really thinking in the mind of who was watching and thinking about my certain, like there's certain people who, like I burped earlier, like I know certain people in my head who would be interested in that kind of content. Like you
Right.
want to think like, how can I make my audience happy with everything I do?
Right.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So that leads me to my next question, Miss Single. Are you are you mono or
Available?
poly?
Oh, so I have dabbled with polyam. In one of my relationships, we did have like a girlfriend. I've been able to date girls sometimes outside. The last couple relationships I was in wasn't really like that. Sometimes I feel more monogamous, and sometimes I was polyam when I was in a committed relationship, and I have tried dating couples. I've tried dating different genders, but God, I hate that I keep going back to cisgendered men. Oh, but it does it for me, apparently. I like penis and chest hair.
Damn
It sucks.
it.
But I mean, It sucks. But I also do have, so I feel like I'm pretty monogamous until I get into a committed relationship and we've done everything. And then I'm like, all right, let's explore outside of it. Cause I'm still, I do too much in my life, and adding another person is just like, I tried to date 2 guys at a time last year, and I ended up calling one of them the wrong name. And I was like, never again. I'm not, that was the most embarrassing moment in my life. Can't do that again. So I've been keeping it just kind of like one-on-one now. And I'm getting on the apps tomorrow. Again. Okay. I took a break. I go in phases of when I feel like
I tried to do that. It was a terrible experience. Like, oh my goodness. It is so terrible to try to date, especially if you are in the industry or associated with a community on any level.
Or femme presenting.
Oh, yes. Oh my goodness. So I always have people that are just like, always, are you down to fuck? No, I'm here for a committed relationship. That's what I'm here for.
I have the most jam, like on Tinder, it is jam fucking packed of like, you need to be okay with sexual health. You need to be okay with being an empathetic person. You need to not sexualize me. And like, I do a vet, like if the first question or a first couple questions that come out of their mouth is about me being a sex worker, I don't talk to them anymore. If they bring it up after like I bring it up, great. Thanks for the respect. I really appreciate that, you know? But God, the amount of swiping and stupid messages you have to go through.
We need our own app, damn it. We need to make our own app.
We do, but then I feel like it would be infiltrated. You know, it's hard. It's hard to do stuff for just us. Because privacy and all the stuff, and then people just want to be on it just to fuck, you know.
I want like people porn star.
OnlyFans. Exactly. Like I get so many DMs from people with like 3 followers. Yeah, being like, I just joined OnlyFans. I'd love to have somebody to fuck with. And I'm like, gross. Do you see any of that content on my page? Like, and also 3 followers and no photo. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck with some random person. Yeah.
Oh, that's the best part. They're like, I have an OnlyFans too. You want to work together? Let's collab. Like, you got 5 followers. You are in a non-account. No.
You just want to fuck for free. Okay.
Yeah. I'm good.
Okay. I'm good. I would like a committed relationship and somebody who respects me. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. And the ridiculous thing is, I think the majority of the vanilla world, all these civvy people don't understand that the majority of people in sex work do have some kind of partner. Porn stars, they're married. Who would have thought?
One of my friends just came out as a MILF after being a MILF forever, but was worried that it would like tarnish her reputation. And it hasn't at all, which is beautiful and lovely. But like the things that we have to go to like navigate our own audiences and make sure that they still like us and whatever. But we also have to be ourselves, you know, there's fuckable moms. You never know that they are in a relationship or married, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. And I guess it's one of those situations where I want to be told that I'm fucking hot, not that I'm hot for a mom of 3. Like, just say I'm fucking hot, you know? Stop giving the backhanded compliment.
I'm tired of it. Stop it. I don't want to see my friends be compared good for their age, good for their size, whatever. They're just good. If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't fucking say it. The amount of vomit emojis that I get when I have my armpits out, oh my God. Or the lawnmower emoji or like a razor emoji. It's like, do you think I've never considered this? Do you think I'm like just, oh my God, I didn't know that people didn't like it. Let me do everything that society tells me to do. I'm clearly just
I didn't know that like, was there. It just kind of popped up. Oh.
Yeah, like the thousands of followers I have, they just have never noticed it, and you're the first one to notice it. Wow. You're so special. That's like pick me attitude. from our followers, or they're not even followers, obviously, but
Yeah, they just go to shit on people. And like, stop being negative, especially if you're in the community. Be inclusive, be positive, and promote other people. Because listen, I'm here to tell you, I'm here to help fix people's crowns, not fucking rip it off their head. I want people to be empowered. Like, that's the whole reason I started this fucking podcast. I want people to know that there is a good side to us. There is a positive side. And yeah, maybe some of us have been through some shit, but you know what? Everybody's been through some kind of shit. It's just a matter of we don't care to show it.
100%. And we're just like showing it in a different way too. Like, everybody's being exploited, but like we're just being exploited, quote unquote,
And we're getting paid for it.
in a different way. Yeah, by making our own time and schedules and bodily autonomy. Oh no. But yeah, there's definitely been some stigma. Like, my relationship with my mom has changed a lot throughout, because I told her a while ago that I was a sex worker, and it's taken her, we still don't really talk about it. And I've tried to bring up little tiny things to make it seem, like this industry is good and there's good people.
Less overstimulating.
I'm not, when I was getting into boudoir photography, like, she thought I was exploiting the models. And I'm like, these models are getting paid for people to see these photos. Like, but things have been changing. And I think it's just because for years and years and years, people have this connotation of porn is bad. Porn is like all these people being abused, and they don't have, it's just people who need money or whatever. It's like, it never has been, and it still is not that way, at least for the majority of all people. Right. But it's just when people are set in their ways, they just don't want to listen. And it really takes people to listen to things like this podcast, and sex workers, and the people who are going through it, to tell you what we're actually experiencing, instead of just some, like you were talking about earlier, like, hearing it from the perspective of people who are not sex workers. It's like, what do they have to say about our experience? Because they don't
what kind of validity do that have? Like, if I recently, say I'm an alcoholic and I recently stopped drinking, I don't want to talk to somebody that had never drank anything and don't know the struggles that I'm going through. I want to talk to somebody that's been there. I want to talk to somebody that can relate to me, that can empathize and be like, it's going to be okay. Not just because they think I'll be okay, but because they've been there and they know that I'll be okay.
100%. Yeah. Sex workers have been through some shit. And we're also some of the most uplifting people too. And I think we're here for each other. We're here for the community. And, getting outside of the sex work community and talking about these issues is a little bit hard, but there's so many people doing amazing things to be able to, quote unquote, normalize sex work, and destigmatize it, and make it so that, you and me and friends don't have to beat around the bush when we talk to people, or feel uncomfortable about who we are,
or like hide whenever we're filming. Like, that's so fucking dumb that you can't just, oh, so what do you do for work? Oh, well, I'm a dominatrix. Or, oh, well, I'm some kind of kink model. I'm this, I'm that. Like, you shouldn't have to hide who you are, because I actually seen it was a meme on Facebook earlier today, and it said that having a job or finding work isn't disrespectful or a bad thing, regardless of what kind of work you're in. The only thing that is disgraceful is kind of whenever you don't want to work at all. Like, this environment, this environment creates the ability for people that do have some kind of medical disorder. Like, if you can't work a regular 9 to 5 because maybe you got some kind of disorder going on and you're tired and you just can't function like a regular schedule. I know the past almost 4-ish years, I've been battling with autoimmune disorder. It's completely new to me. And there are some days where I'm just so tired, I want to sleep all day. Like, I can't move. I'm just like, I feel like I haven't slept in a month and my body just will not do anything. And there are plenty of people out there. I follow quite a few people on Twitter that are disabled and work in the industry, but they work when they can because it accommodates their health. You know, they create their own schedule. It's a healthy thing. It's the most empowered that they have ever been. And sex work gave them that ability.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I am definitely one of those people too. I have fibromyalgia. So I cannot, and I have got, like I said, hot girl IBS problems. So going into the office all the time, I don't want to be uncomfortable. But also like I have fibromyalgia, and also now I'm dealing with a little bit of long COVID. And so now I can only function for like a couple hours a day where I have a lot of energy, and the rest of it I'm tired as hell. So this job has been so accommodating to me to be able to, like, I couldn't stay cam models. That's a different story. That's a hustle. I could never understand, like, all the praise, but or people who are like consistent with a lot of things. Like I work in chunks. So like I work on this, I work on this, I work on this, but I make sure things are queued up. I make sure things are happy in place and my fans are happy, but I just, my brain just doesn't work that way. So like having this, it makes me still be able to be creative, but also to be able to work on my own schedule, which I would not give up for the world. Now that I have it, I don't want to, I don't want to take it back. I will do anything to keep doing this. And not have to clock in. The anxiety I already get. I am always late to everything. So just I care about this work, and I show up for myself every day, and I show up for my fans every, you know, as much as I can. You know, I can be on the toilet, I could be peeing, I could be, you know, in the shower and getting work done, or I could be like relaxing on the couch, taking, you know, with a heat pad or whatever, taking care of my health if I can't move for the day. So super, super grateful, and super grateful for the fans who understand that and respect that and want to help you on those days too. Like, shout out, thank you. But yeah, this work is absolutely helpful for me and my disabilities, for sure.
Yes, I would
Thank
completely
you for
agree.
giving me my quality of life back.
Yes. And that's the thing, like every corporate job that I've ever had, they want you to come into work whether you're sick or healthy. They want you to clock extra hours and not get paid for it. They want you to put your all in working to make them money whenever you get paid the same wage. So it's not like more effort gets more pay and you get overlooked. It's like you're underappreciated. I have never had a corporate job where I've been like, oh, I can spend my whole life doing this.
Nope.
I'm not about it. I'm not about it.
Sitting at a desk in a cubicle? No, thank you. I'm sorry to all the people listening. Probably
some people do like that. Some people like that. They like that kind of life. But I'm gonna tell you, I cannot do it. Now, if I'm playing my games, if I'm streaming and playing games, I can do that. But
see, different kind of sitting at your desk.
Yes. But I can't do the whole cubicle. Let me sit here and take calls for 10 hours. Like,
no,
I can't.
And I'm very thankful that I have sex work to do, because I don't know what I would be doing if I weren't doing sex work. You know, like if I wanted to keep the kind of lifestyle that I have, to be able to wake up when I need to wake up and to go to sleep when I want to sleep, like it's hard to find a job that lets you do that. I do have a vanilla job where I do like digital media marketing for like a little small business, but that's like a couple days a week. I have my photography, I have my modeling, I have all these little dabbles of life. But it's honestly, it's really nice to be able to have a little aside outside of a little side life outside of sex work, because then I can hear my real name again. And which is very liberating, honestly, because sometimes I'll wake up and think that I'm Cactus, like legitimate. And like I've had dreams where I'm like, oh my God, that's my real name. But it's really nice to also use my talents to help somebody else too, not just use it all for me, but it's not like a sit at, a desk every day kind of job. So,
Yeah.
I'm super grateful for sex work and for people like you and for just other sex workers in this industry who are just trying to do their best too, because damn, we're making some really cool stuff and making some people happy. And I think that's the beauty of it.
And that was super exciting when I first started up until this point. I love whenever they give me feedback, whenever somebody orders a custom or whenever they purchase something and they're like, I love that. I'm not going to tell you how that made me feel, like, because there's so many things that it made me feel. And I was just so excited and like, it was so helpful. Like, I love that. Give me those details. Like, I want to know how it makes you feel,
Yeah. Or like what specific, things are, as people are like, hey, I hope this isn't rude, but I just want to let you know what I liked about the video. And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
Tell me. You got it. I want to hear it. It's not like you're being like, oh my God, I loved it when you did that in the 2-second trailer that you posted. Like,
right.
you got the video and you're enjoying it. I want to know what you loved about it. And that, like, honestly, I use a lot of like Snapchat screenshots when people reply to my content or like comments that people send or like DMs or whatever. And I think that's social, oh my gosh, social something. But it shows basically like it's a marketing technique. It shows other people really enjoy your content. And it's what they like about it. And if you're making somebody feel that way, it's like, oh wait, oh shit, I can feel that way too. Let me go check out that content. So like, we really appreciate those reviews, and I give free content to people who send me reviews. So
I do too.
Yay!
So
like
I remember
mood or something. Yeah.
I remember
like, thank you
I was
so
on my
much.
page. Yeah, for sure, 100%, because it helps them be able to relate to you or to whoever you're selling to as well. So that essentially creates a foundation for some kind of, relationship for you in the future. And that's kind of what I did. I think the first time I did that was around a year ago. I was on my OnlyFans page and I was like, anybody that purchased something from me and they write me a review, I'll send them a free small custom. And then they were like, okay. So I had this guy like write a book and I was like, I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, because
that is beautiful.
We need that too. Like, yeah, we know that we're damn good at what we do, but it doesn't hurt to be like, you're appreciated. You did a good job. This is how you did a good job. Like, I like this in particular, because that also lets us know what caught your eye about that.
I want to know what I can use for future videos. And then you'll be like, oh my God, they used that. They did that in the other video. And now they're doing it again. And I really like that. So I definitely appreciate that so much. And it just makes us feel good. Like you said, like we don't hear it. We hear like, oh baby, you're so sexy, like stuff like that. But like, I don't know what you see on your Dom content. I'm sure it's a little bit different, like mistress or step on me. I don't know. I don't know that. Do you go by mistress because you're non-binary? Do you do mistress? Or
I don't have any specific gender. So I go by everything. You can go like, I remember this one guy. Yeah, I remember this one guy. He's like, do I call you mommy or daddy? And I'm like, well, I go by mommy and daddy. So just whatever you're feeling at the moment. And he's like, that's kind of confusing. And I'm like, well, I don't like the idea of, I guess, being confined to one or the other, because I do present femmy, but I'm not femmy too. And the only time that they kind of like the masculine side of me is whenever they're in subspace. Well, just because that's the only time you like to call me daddy doesn't mean that's the only time I use daddy.
That is so beautiful. And I love it.
Yeah, it's confusing for some people. I guess just because the gender stuff is something that's new anyway to most people. So I do want to say, anybody that's listening that kind of struggles with that don't know, one, don't assume. And if you're on the other end of the spectrum, don't assume that they know. Like, I look femmy, so people are going to think, yeah, woman, she, her, like, you know, but I can't be upset with somebody because they don't know. Like, what society standards, you know, taught everybody that if somebody looks like a woman, then it's a woman. So I feel like there's just needs to be a lot of education on both ends, like more understanding on both, because I've seen some crazy people that like attack people because they're like, don't call me her. And it's like, you didn't tell me that. I even got attacked once and I'm non-binary. I'm like, it was in your bio. So I thought I was allowed to use it. I don't understand. I think there's a lack of communication, lost in translation, but it all goes back to everybody just needs to be, I guess, more open-minded and educated for both ends of the spectrum, you know?
Empathetic, you know?
Yes.
Just assume that somebody isn't totally, I mean, like, we all have quote unquote identities, but those are just parts of us as well. That's not our entire person. So there's
100%.
always stuff going on beneath us, you know? So you know, it's definitely a world that we have been raised in to think certain things, and our brains are very binary too. So I think it's the unlearning that might take a while, but I love that it's happening. Like, it's just, as long as my friends are happy and they want me to call them something, like, I'm gonna respect that. Like, that's just the bottom line. It doesn't have anything to do with whatever. It's like, if you change your name, fine. I'll call you by a different name. Whatever.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
And that's what I was explaining to somebody. Was like, well, I've called this person like trans. If somebody becomes trans at some point in their life, like, they always kind of feel something inside of them, but they don't know what it is. So I've seen people like approach them and be like, well, you were this, but now halfway through your life, you decide to be this. Well, maybe they didn't know all of their self. They knew that they were different. They know that they didn't feel right, but they didn't know what it was. That's how I was. So I was attracted to females first. Women were just gorgeous to me. I had my first crush on a woman that, well, it was a girl. I had my first crush on a girl whenever I was in 4th grade. And at the time I didn't know that's what it was, you know, because I was always told, I'm from Kentucky. Okay, this is the Bible Belt. Women don't date women. So I just knew that I really liked this person, that I was basically like almost obsessed with them, that I wanted to spend all my time with them. The person ended up being my best friend, and I didn't realize what the attraction was until later. And it's one of those things that I didn't know back then that I was pansexual. I just knew that I was different. I knew that I didn't feel the same way that I was told I was supposed to feel. Like, yeah, I was attracted to males too, but they just didn't do it for me as much, you know? But it's one of those things, it's inside you. You can't articulate it, you know? And then I feel like there are so many people out there that are becoming educated. They are becoming more informed. And I want to praise those people, because let me tell you, it takes a lot to uncondition yourself from society standards.
100. We have so many fucking standards too. But what I think is beautiful about the sex work community is, I think because we are so inclusive, because people have different fetishes, and it's like everybody is a different kind of sex worker. Everybody has their different kind of way of doing things, of why people like them. So I think it's really become more of like, it always kind of has, no, it hasn't always been an inclusive space, but it's becoming more of an inclusive space. And I think it's one of the more progressive spaces, because we're having to have these really hard conversations really quickly, because our work is so intimate, and we want to make sure that we're respecting the people that we're intimate with.
Yes.
or not intimate. Like I just want to respect my peers, of course. And we
Mhm.
are a very queer community, and I feel like that's what's beautiful about being a sex worker too, is I feel a lot more comfortable in my queerness.
Mhm.
So I think it's beautiful that things are happening, but it's, it's slow, but it's happening.
Yes. And that is what I'm here for. I'm here for the progress, period, because any kind of progress that is positive, regardless of the pace of it, I feel like that is building on that foundation so that tomorrow can be better. And we all need a better tomorrow. Like, come on. We all need a better tomorrow.
Especially right now.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. For real, for real.
But
Okay. I'm going to ask you a
yeah.
couple more questions and then I'm going to let you get on with your day because I have took up so much of your time. I just get so excited that I lost track of time.
I know. I love talking to you, so no worries.
So, my next question for you is going to be, how does your work affect you mentally and physically?
I mean, I think, interesting. Because we've talked about how my life is physical and how it goes into sex work, but not how sex work makes me. Okay, so it's thankfully, but also not thankfully, a lot of the work is on the phone or the computer. It's a lot of doing the DMs, the editing, the behind the scenes work that you don't really see.
Right.
I kind of like that as a person with chronic illness, but I also don't, because it makes me sit for so long. So sometimes I'll take it with me on a walk or just try to move my body, because if I don't move my body, then my body stays in trauma and it stays hurting. So, which is why I really do like performing, but there's only so much I can take of it. Usually, like my cam shows don't ever last over, I think the longest I ever did was 2.5 hours. I can't really last past that, or else my body is like, let's take a break. I need to sit. I can't talk to people right now. I'm overstimulated and I'm in pain. And especially if I can't be on a site that like lets me smoke or something while I'm doing it, but it definitely wipes so much out of me, which is why a lot of my work is like just me being me. But it's difficult because also like I kind of tire my body out when I'm doing videos or whatever. It's all about navigating how I feel in my body than what have you have chronic illness, so you probably know the spoon theory. It's how many spoons you got. And have you never heard it?
I don't know.
It's okay. It's honestly, I think it's the stupidest way to talk about it, but it's how many spoons you have in a day. Taking a shower is 1 spoon. Going for a walk is 1 spoon. It's like then you only have 6 spoons left. So it's like spoons equals amount of energy you have in a day.
Okay.
Yeah. If they had used anything but spoons, I would have been okay. I think it's ridiculous. But sorry to the fellow spoonies out there, but it's all based on how much energy that I know I have in a day of what I can get done. So that'll also dictate, am I filming today, or am I just doing admin work, or am I mean, like I have my trips that I go on, like I did XBiz LA where I was gone for a week and making content every single day. And then as soon as I got back, got COVID. There's so many people not wearing masks or anything, and me wearing a mask meant nothing. So but yeah, it's working with my body and my body working with me. Yeah. Spoons and stuff.
And I love that flexibility that sex work offers, because if you do find your body, you find, what your strengths are, like, maybe 2 days a week or 3 days a week, you can push out content. The rest of the time, maybe your body's too tired. Use those days for all of your admin work, for your edits, for your uploads, for your marketing. Like you can learn how to accommodate that. And I'm going to tell you, for a long time, I struggled with my issues just because I can't do the things that I used to do. Like
I used to be full blast all day, every day, like nothing could stop me. I was superwoman. And then all of a sudden I get sick. I get mono, and then I get an autoimmune disorder that's activated. And it's
You
just
got
like,
Epstein-Barr too. Gosh dang it. That
listen,
fucker.
that was the
fucker.
reason I got sick.
That's the reason that most people get chronic illness is Epstein-Barr. Very interesting. So stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I felt like my life was ending. There was a long time where I was just like, I don't have anything left. Like I feel like life just wants me to give up. Like I don't have anything left.
The grieving that comes with having a chronic illness is so difficult because you were grieving the life you used to have. And it's like, what can I do now? But there is still so much you can do. You just have to learn to work with your body, not against it. Give it the love, work it with
it's
it.
taken me 4 years, okay? I'm just now getting to that point. And I still have a hard time.
Since I was 19 and I'm turning 30 this year. So it's taken me an IBS I've had for like 7 years now. So it takes a long time to be able to understand what works for you in your body. But there's hope. There is. Just keep trying. We're here for you. And there's so many support
keep digging
groups
away.
There's so many disabled sex workers. We're all here for each other. Things happen. People get sick.
100%. And that's part of life. Like you don't have to hide it. Like that is part of life.
Yeah.
And I just find so many people that's just like, oh, well, if you want to be a porn star, then you can't have any kind of disorders. I know plenty of people that have some kind of chronic illness that are porn stars.
Yeah, we're just good at masking too.
Yeah. And whenever we get in work mode, it's like that's the only thing that matters. So, yeah.
Dude, when I am on a photo shoot, like I've had days where I wake up with fibromyalgia flares and then I have a photo shoot and my pain is gone for the rest of the day. It's like I get into this like mode sometimes with creativity where it's like the fibromyalgia just leaves my body for a minute. And it's beautiful. Or I have hyper focus moments where I'm just like, I need to do this now and all of it right now. So like just an entire day of content and then you're like, why did I do that? But you take advantage of what you got. You take your spoons.
Yep.
And you eat the cereal.
Yeah. So my last question for you today is going to be, tell me what the best part and the worst part of your job are.
Great question. Oh my gosh. Okay. So best part would be I genuinely just love making people happy and I love being a performer. And I love that I get to combine those two things, create my own schedule and not have to work for anybody else. Like that is like everything I could ever ask for. Like I don't care about I going out or doing anything with my money. Like as long as I have a cute little place to be in and I get to do the work that I want to do and create, like I'm happy. I'm in it for making enough money. I'm not in it for making, like that's not my goal with this job.
Right.
I love being a performer and getting an outlet to be weird and silly and try new things. So that's the best part. I guess the worst part is the burnout. At least that's what I experienced last year. I had a hard burnout for about 6 months, but I kept a face on Twitter. I kept I kept trying, because if you dip out in this industry even for a couple weeks, people forget about you. You lose all your followers and subscribers, and it is a quick turnaround for finding something new. And there's other creators out there that they could go towards who are dishing out more content than I am. So I think that's a scary part. And also I would say the censorship. I am struggling, and I think a lot of us are right now, of how much we're being censored online. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, every single thing. Like, we're having conversations within our communities, and I think that people are just seeing like, oh, Instagram's just changing to video and like all these different things, but they're not really seeing how incredibly impactful it has been on, like, if somebody loses their account, they're losing their income. So I just lost my 35,000 follower Instagram that I've had since I started modeling in 2016. I lost a TikTok recently, and like, sure, I lost the content, but I lost the people who were there to see me consistently. And now they, you know, not a lot of them are going to be like, oh, Cactus, where has she been? Unless they were like continuously, like 35,000 people aren't going to go find me again, you know?
Yeah.
So it's the rebuilding after losing your OnlyFans. It's the rebuilding after losing TikToks. It's the rebuilding. That is
exhausting.
It's so fucking exhausting. And that causes a lot of stress and burnout. And then we don't want to do anything because everything we do just gets taken down. So
yeah, it's like poisonous. It feels poisonous almost. And it's like, you do all of this effort. Yeah. You do all this effort, put in all this time, getting all this work. You build up your clientele, and then someone rips the book out of your hand.
Yep. All that work for what?
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So, yeah, that's definitely the worst part, I would say, which is trickle down from the laws and all this stuff impacting us. But I feel like right now, and especially in the last like year or two, we've been seeing it so much more. And it's been really hard for people to continue in this industry, having 8 TikToks but you know, in Instagrams. It's because we know that we're going to lose some of them.
Yep. And one of the most ridiculous things is, in the terms of service for most of them, you're not allowed to have more than one account. Well, how about you stop fucking with our accounts, and then we won't have to have multiple.
Yeah. Just don't say backup on any of yours. Don't say alt account or whatever. Just make it a new account. Don't. Yeah. There's so many rules. And it's thankfully there's like groups and stuff, and support groups and Telegram groups and Twitter groups of people who can talk and ask questions. Because that's the only way we really learn these things, is through word of mouth and from other people. Like, there's nobody
from
else
our community. Because nobody else is gonna fucking come talk to us about it.
No, we are our own messengers. So yeah, but thankfully we have those communities and support groups, because I know that things happen and people are willing to help pick you up when things get bad. So and I'm just thankful for things like this podcast, and you know, other podcasts and other people talking about sex work from our perspective, because it really does help shed more of a positive light and normality.
Yes, 100%. Oh, before we get off, I need you to tell everyone about your podcast.
Oh, yeah, quickly. So I was a co-host on Candy Girl Podcast, which is now called Candy Girl Network. You can find us everywhere, but I do have a podcast link if you want to find it on my allmylinks.com/Kactus Kutie. There's a whole Spotify playlist of all the ones that I was on. I joined them probably about a year and a half or 2 years after they started. They were non-sex workers, but they were people who just really wanted to use their abilities. They knew about podcasts, they knew about tech, they just wanted to uplift sex workers' voices, so they would just interview sex workers. But I kind of came in as that like sex worker voice to be able to kind of have more in-depth conversations. But also just, I loved being a part of it and getting to know new people and helping other people share their stories too. So if anybody's interested, go check them out. We haven't recorded for about 2 years, but maybe I might pick it up again and start my own podcast this year. We may see, we may not. But, oh, my cat just sneezed. But, would you like to see my cat?
Yes.
Hey, girl. This is Rebecca Black.
Hi, cutie.
She loves being a part of my photo shoots and stuff. She was sitting underneath the person today while I was shooting. Hi, you're such a girl. All right, there we go. I'm a cat person. My other
That's a
cat's
cutie.
name is Bernie Sanders, and he's in the other room. He's the
That's a
love of
good
my life.
name. That's
Yeah,
a
he's
good
my
name.
friend slash son.
Okay.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyways, I've never said that before. You know, you think you're riffing and being funny, and then something comes out and you're like, well, shouldn't have said that. But here we are, and I did, and I apologize. But I love cats. That's the main message.
That's the message. That's the point.
Throughout this entire podcast, if you listen to anything and if you got to this point, I love cats. That's all you need to know.
All the other stuff doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Honestly, just delete it.
Send her cat
Kidding.
pictures. Send her cat
Yeah,
pictures.
actually, I do love cat pictures, so thank you.
All the cute
And I
cat
love when
pictures.
people love my cat pictures. So. But thank you so much for having me on. This was a lovely conversation.
I agree. I really appreciate you coming and adding something amazing to Forbidden Depths, because you literally have insight as a worker yourself. You have friends that are in the community, and you have your own podcast. So you have all of these different perspectives that we can kind of pull from. And I'm glad I got to pick your brain today.
I pick my brain anytime. It up. But it was really lovely to talk to you. I love talking to other very uplifting and smiley and happy people. So, and I'm excited to see this on YouTube and other places. So
yeah, we're only on YouTube right now. We will be on Spotify, I'm hoping within the next month.
Yay! Because I'll add it to my little link of all the podcasts that I've been on. So, but this was lovely. You are a wonderful host, and I can't wait to see the other podcast episodes that you get to do and people you get to talk to.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming to join us for Forbidden Depths and coming to just hear the conversation. If you guys have any comments, you can leave them for us. Also, remember to go on over and follow Cactus. She has several Twitters, which she's talked about before, but Cactus Kutie Peas is her account that we were singularly talking about today. I hope to see you guys in the next episode, and you have a wonderful day.
Hey, it's Queen Frostbitten again, your host. I just want to remind you that you can follow us on YouTube at Forbidden Depths. That's FORBIDDENDEPTHS. Or over on Twitter at 4BIDDENDPODCAST. Remember to always stay educated, consensual, and safe. We'll see you on the next show.